You're listening to Boomers Today with your host, Frank Sampson.
Welcome to Boomers Today. I'm your host, Frank Sampson, and of course each week we bring you important, useful information on issues facing baby boomers, their parents, and other loved ones. And I just want to really thank everybody for all their support. So many of you have passed on information to friends and family to listen to our shows. Of course, many of you listen on many of the radio stations throughout the country that Boomers Today appears on, as well as on our podcast, which is on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, or you could go directly to boomerstodayradio.com. So again, thank you so much, and we're getting so many more listeners because of our great guests, and we have another wonderful guest with us today. We have with us Patricia Greenberg. Patricia is a working wife and mother and has 30 years experience as a certified nutritionist, chef, and wellness educator. Patricia runs the Fitness Gourmet, a wellness consulting firm that specializes in teaching seminars nationwide. She has a special interest in enhancing the education of the general public, providing accurate nutrition and health information to today's consumer, which has had an impact on the lives and health of thousands of people. Patricia also has authored several books. Her most recent is Eat Well, Live Well, Age Well, A Wealth of Information for Life. So Patricia, thank you so much for joining us on Boomers Today. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Frank. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So, I'm going to start out with a toughie. Maybe it's not going to be tough for you, though. All right. What's, kind of just want to get an understanding of, I guess, why we age. Why, as a society, do we age? How do we age? And kind of what's the thinking behind that? Help us understand.
Absolutely. So we're talking about the physiology of aging. What actually happens when we age, how we age, and why we age are great questions. And it's the big question here is, how do we age? We age over time. The body, just like inanimate objects, human beings, animals, your car, your electronic equipment in your house, everything over time diminishes. It's just a reality, and I like to be very clear about that because I think it helps people be less afraid of the aging process. We do slow down. Your metabolism slows down. Your bodily functions slow down. Your organs slow down. And I don't mean this in a way that's scary, that your body is shutting down. That's a whole different issue. That's more of, when you're medically compromised. This is more an understanding that with age, the joints deteriorate somewhat. I don't think I know anybody over 50 that doesn't have some touch of arthritis in their body, which again is you can live a full life with this, not a problem. And what happens is over time, what science is teaching us is that your cells have a lifespan, and they reach a point in time where they just stop replicating. So how we replenish and rejuvenate our bodies is the cells keep replicating and making new cells. And of course that plays into your fitness level and your nutritional status. But over time, that will slow down and eventually stop. And so you'll see it all over your body. How do we age? The pigmentation in our hair we start to lose that pigmentation, so the hair goes from your natural color to more of a gray color. The skin loses elasticity, and so you'll see more visible wrinkles, and the skin may look saggier. And these are things that people are terrified of, and it's such a natural process. Why do you slow down? Because your metabolism is just higher when you're younger. You and I talked off the air a little bit, and we talked a little bit how I ran marathons for many, many years.
Right.
And I see how many of my fellow runners and fitness and nutrition professionals all are finding ways now to slow down because they realize you just don't have the physical energy to keep that level up anymore. There are a few people floating around that can still do it, but I do think they're doing it, and it really is a struggle. So that's how we age. The body just starts to slow down. Certain things start to deteriorate. I'm sorry I'm using that word because it is a little bit of a scary word, but it's the reality.
Yeah, right.
And what happens, what we're finding now, thank goodness, is that science and orthopedic surgeons and cardiologists and general physicians and some of these sports medicine doctors are learning ways to help people keep active as they can into their 70s and 80s with certain modifications, certain medicines, and, of course, certain surgeries and treatments that will help preserve some of these functions that are slowing down. Why we age is the age-old mystery. We don't know why DNA replicates, and we don't know why it stops. That is, comes from somewhere in the universe that we have yet to find out.
I don't know if we have room for everybody. If everybody lives forever.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's another issue.
Right.
But what I like to tell everybody when it comes to this is that what happens. Some people become frightened of aging, and they're at the doctor all the time. This hurts, that hurts. This looks funny. This step changes, and often you're dismissed by the doctor by saying, it's a natural part of aging. And some people just don't even go. They figure, well, I made it to 60 or 70. What's the difference? I'll just live with what I have. And I think there's a happy medium. I think people should go and get an annual exam, get everything checked, so that at least you have a baseline each year of your values, your numbers, your health status, your energy, your bones, your muscles, etc. And then maybe at that point seek not only traditional medicine for treatments, but also alternative. And as I don't think I need to tell anybody listening that we know now relaxation, meditation, yoga, walking, these what I call more gentle approaches to taking care of yourself, gentle exercise, being gentle to yourself and keeping yourself calm is really, really beneficial in helping you sustain during the aging process.
Yeah. So for those that do watch television, I don't think you could watch television without getting some sort of a commercial on some medication or whatever. I mean, it's crazy how much is out there. But my specific question just has to do with anything that's, anti-aging or certain types of vitamins. And what's your opinion of all of this? I mean, is it just smoke and mirrors or whatever you want to call it? I mean, should people really pay attention to that as it relates to living better? I'm not talking about anything that a doctor prescribes. I'm just talking about over-the-counter type of medications that are being promoted by various companies.
Yeah, it's an excellent question, and one of the things that, again, circles back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier is that in my opinion, there's no such thing as anti-aging. You are aging. Each day that goes by, you are aging. You're moving forward. Anti-aging refers to, look 20 years younger, feel 20 years younger, 60 is the new 40, all these things. That's not really true internally. So I think that a lot of this is hype, and I think that a lot of it is snake oil. But one thing that is very important to understand is what I hope it does is it gets people to take better care of themselves in general. And again, there's this thing that we think about, okay, if I take a pill, one of the big ones is human growth hormone. If I take human growth hormone, I'll regain all my muscle mass back. I'll get taller. I won't shrink. My hair will grow thick. If I eat lots of protein, my skin will bounce back to where it once was. None of that is true. So what these companies do is they take a little bit of science that's accurate with the modality in which these remedies seem to work in very small ways, and they hype it up. So I would stay away from all of that. I am a big believer in a multivitamin every day. I think if you can't get your nutrition every single day from your food, or you are a little compromised in certain areas of your life, or you like to have, a glass of wine, and you like to indulge in some good food on the weekend, a multivitamin every day will certainly help. I also would lean towards more of a organic one and one that's prescription grade, meaning that it's a higher level than just something you'd buy in the drugstore. I would speak to a doctor or a chiropractor or a wellness practitioner of some sort to see if you can get the maximum ultimate amount of nutrition that you can out of a vitamin. But pills and powders and bars and shakes and drinks, I stay away from all that. I really advise people to get good nutrition from food, from real solid, good, whole food.
So I'm a boomer, all right, and I've got many friends and family that are in that boomer category. And every time there's a discussion, which it happens quite often, about weight loss, wanting to lose weight, there's the discussion, well, you got to work out more. And then somebody else goes, that doesn't matter. You just got to eat better, or, whatever, or less sugar, or whatever. And I know I know we were going to talk about maybe some of the myths about nutrition and fitness. I don't know if that falls into it, but can you talk about that particular subject matter and help clear up what is it? Is it both? Is it one or the other, to help maybe people who do want to lose some weight?
So again, an excellent point that you're bringing up, and it's all of the above. As we age, our metabolism slows down. Again, that is just a natural process. People say, oh, it's so hard to lose weight when I get older. I eat the same, but I seem to be gaining weight. The first course of action in that is, again, I'm going to go back to getting a checkup and getting your adrenal glands checked and your thyroid gland checked and so forth. And it may sound like the flat answer is go to the doctor, they'll fix you. Not at all. What I'm saying is to get a baseline, because there are parameters in which your metabolism should be working. And if something's off, you could be doing all the dieting and the exercise in the world, and you're not having success because there is an underlying medical issue. So first order of business is get that checked. Second order of business, I can tell you from over 30 years experience of being a nutritionist and wellness educator, teaching nutrition. I started out as a hospital dietitian many years ago. People eat probably quadruple of what they realize they're eating, if that makes sense to you. The portion distortion is out of control in our country, and unfortunately it's made its way, I think, around the world. Number one, if I could ask everybody to do one thing that wants to lose weight, is get the sugar out of your diet. Sugar slows down everything. It slows down your metabolism. It slows down your ability for your liver to function. It creates problems in your kidneys and your heart. And for some reason, people have really not gotten a handle on how much sugar they eat and processed foods. So this is not headline news to you or anybody else. But really, the amount of food that people eat is astounding to me. People will sit down, and in a restaurant, people feel entitled. People feel the rewarding oneself with food. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go do something good for myself, and I deserve a donut, and I deserve a big piece of cake. And what I advise people, and I speak extensively about this in my work, is that make one day a year your special day. I pick my birthday. There's a holiday every single month,
right,
and sometimes a couple days a month, right, that there's an opportunity to eat cake, drink a beer, have a party, down a bag of chips. And really, I just choose my birthday is my favorite holiday. That's what I always say, and that's the day I'll have something special. And yes, it takes fortitude, it takes discipline, etc. But I can't tell you enough, over and over and over again, people who I have helped eliminate, just get the dessert out of your diet. Don't eat desserts, okay? Start
right
there. And just one thing, if you could get all the soda and the diet soda out of your diet. A diet soda is just as bad for you as sugared soda for a multitude of reasons. So when it comes to diet and exercise, let's look at both aspects of that, is the amount of food we eat and the sedentary lifestyle that we've taken on is, again, really working against us. I know that with all the automated items we have in our lives today, we're all at an age. Do you remember rolling the car window up, getting in the car and turning the key?
Of course.
Parking the car and getting
right.
getting up and turning. We always joke about the rabbit ears and getting up. And I grew up in New York, and we only had 5 TV channels when I was a little kid. And you got up and you changed the channel. You got up and you, when you cooked dinner, you actually did manual labor to feed yourself. Everything is a button. Again, I'm astounded. I got to hand it to these, frozen food companies. the amount of food that's available that just needs to be microwaved or heated up eliminates a lot of activity leading up to feeding yourself. And with all these things going by the wayside, you'd be surprised how that passive activity plays a huge role in weight gain or the inability to lose weight. It's very easy to come home, sit on the couch, and press a button to the microwave for dinner and press a button to the TV to watch TV. And it actually wreaks havoc on your body to have so much food in your system and lack of activity simultaneously. So, again, bite-sized solutions, a little bit at a time. People who tell me they're having trouble losing weight, I said try to eliminate just one thing and see how that goes. Add a walk to your day every day and eliminate desserts, eliminate sodas. Maybe go down to 3 days a week from 5 days a week, and you instantly will start to feel better. But do get yourself checked before you do anything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had the pleasure of seeing a speaker. He's a researcher on aging, and somebody asked in the audience the question I asked you about, vitamins and this and that. And he goes, well, let me put it this way. I don't think it's a good idea if you drive to the drugstore to get those vitamins. But if you walk to the drugstore to get those vitamins, then it's okay.
Yeah, that's good for him, yes.
Yeah, so it was his point. Yeah. His point is it doesn't matter. Just go get some exercise, So.
Yeah. And I do want to add to that, Frank, is that something that I think often gets left behind. There are many, many people 50 and older. I'm using 50 as a line of demarcation because, as a rule, people can stay pretty active and fit and eat well up to about 50. Between that decade between 50 and 60, I find when most people find that they're slowing down. There's a lot of our contemporaries who may be confined to a wheelchair or having trouble walking, or whether it's a disease led to it or for other circumstances. And I say whatever level of mobility that you have or level of infirmity that you have, there's always an opportunity to get some fitness and to eat well. My father was unfortunately confined to a wheelchair later in life, and his physical therapist got him one of those desktop hand cycles, and he was able to work out at the table. So he used a hand cycle at the table. He used sitting in a chair. He used hand weights, and he did a lot of upper body activity to keep himself fit. So I want to, give a shout out again to anybody who has limited mobility or these kinds of challenges. There's little things that you can do can still try to keep yourself relatively healthy.
So, Patricia, I have a couple more questions for you, and we want to learn a little bit more about your book. But before we do that, I'm going to just take a quick 30-second break here and recognize our sponsor, okay?
Okay.
I just want to remind everybody that today's show is sponsored by Senior Care Authority, a senior placement and elder care consulting organization that has a national network of professionally trained and experienced local advisors to assist families in determining the right path for your loved ones. They'll discuss various long-term care options, whether it's in-home care, assisted living, memory care, nursing care, or if you just need an advocate to get advice from. A local Senior Care Authority advisor can help you now. So for a free 30-minute consultation with an advisor in your area, contact Senior Care Authority at 888-809-1231, or you could go directly to the website at www.seniorcareauthority.com, and you could find an advisor in your area. We're back with Patricia Greenberg, who is a certified nutritionist, chef, wellness educator, runs an organization by the name of Fitness Gourmet. And Patricia, you've been a wealth of information, so we got time for a couple more questions. And the one I'd like to ask you, really directly related to the field that I'm in, as you know, we work with a lot of families who have loved ones that have challenging situations, many of which might have been diagnosed with some form of dementia, like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's and all of that, and we deal with that on an everyday basis. And it seems to be a fear of the adult children that we work with, of course. Am I going to get it? What do I need to do to decrease my chances of getting it? Even though there probably still isn't enough research, the one thing I hear over and over again is, exercise and eat well. Anything else you could add to that to maybe help people feel a little bit better of not being confronted with some of the cognitive issues that they hear about? And I guess it relates also to the heart as well and other diseases.
Again, you're bringing up such an interesting topic, and it's something we're all talking about. And as an aside, I am certified as a Dementia Friends lecturer through Alzheimer's LA, so you are asking the right person. I do speak about that as well. And the first half of that is, yes, the caretakers are faced with a very challenging situation. So this is kind of twofold. One thing that we're finding is very bad for the brain is multitasking. Everybody thinks it's a badge of honor to be on the phone, go to the bathroom, write a report, drive the car, eat lunch, all at the same time. I'm kind of laughing, but I'm making fun of it like one of those caricatures you see in a cartoon. But it's very, very bad for your brain. It's important to stay focused. And one of the things that science is showing is the more scattered you are, the more worked up you are, and the more stressed out you are when you're younger, will increase the risk of having some form of dementia. So that is something to keep in mind, that you keep hearing these come home, and I'll give you a little bit of a real quick scenario. So I come home, I have a cup of coffee in one hand and my phone in the other hand. I put my car keys down. My phone starts to ring. I check the phone. I put the phone down, put my glasses down. I have to go to the bathroom. I come back in the kitchen. I find, oh, my goodness, dinner hasn't been heated up yet, and I take it out of the refrigerator. And then I stand there and go, uh-oh, where are my car keys? And you go back and go, okay, I was in the kitchen. I was in the bathroom. I came through the front door. I walked past the kitchen table. Okay, my keys are on the kitchen table. Someone with dementia cannot retrace their steps that way. Right. So one of the important things that we want to do is with age is to stay focused, to stay clean, keep your house free from clutter, keep things in the same place every day. And every day, people say, my husband and I joke about it all the time. We're going to have to, have a special caretaker just to find our keys when we get older. But keeping those things in order are critical as you age. Even if you feel very well right now and healthy and sharp, that is one very key element to helping out with as we age with memory loss, because it's normal memory loss versus dementia. The second thing is we're finding, again, the diet. Mediterranean is one that I always pick out as one of the stellar diets, because people in Mediterranean climates seem to live longer, and they have more men living into their 80s and 90s than any other culture in the world. Right. I think it's Japan, the Mediterranean, and Loma Linda out in California, which is a Seventh-day Adventist lifestyle. Right. And what they all have in common is that they eat moderately, they forage for their own food, they farm their lands. We get back to that aspect of moving around a lot. They eat healthy organic food, and most importantly, they don't allow themselves to get lonely. They have communities of people where they all help each other. So it's not just your immediate family that's with you, but it's the community as a whole helps out. And people who have lifetime bonds and relationships with communities of people tend to live longer, healthier, and have less dementia. So one of the things that has come up recently as a link to that is loneliness and isolation, Frank. I'm sure you're following
right. Yeah, I actually had on my podcast the head of the Alzheimer's Foundation, where they did a study on that subject. It's a huge problem today. It really is.
Huge problem, and if there's anything I could do to solve the problems of the world, that would be to get people who live alone and who are isolated into communities, because that is really a key thing. And you can feel lonely among other people. I'm not saying that there's a life that's free of loneliness. It happens to everybody at some point, and just that feeling of not feeling connected. And the more connected you are, remarkably, the brain seems to stay sharper as you age. And then there's also just an unfortunate situation where some dementia is related to other diseases. Ones that Parkinson's has a dementia-related side condition, And there are early onset that is actually, people don't understand dementia is actually an organic disease of the brain. It's not just forgetting things or the memory gone awry. It's an actual physical, organic, diminishing of the brain's capacity.
Right.
So, and keep getting yourself, and I do believe in, the crossword puzzles and playing, watching Jeopardy. If you're going to watch TV, watch Jeopardy, watch things that make you think rather than make you sleep. Very, very important. Keep thinking and keep sharing your life with people.
Great points. So unfortunately, we only have a couple minutes left, so I want to make sure that you share with everybody a little bit more about your book. Tell us a little bit, give us a little overview on maybe why it's different than some of the other books that are out there and how people can get it. And then I'll ask you to share any contact information with our listeners as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, yes, the book is called Eat Well, Live Well, Age Well. It's available on Amazon.com or through my website at www.thefitnessgourmet.com. And really what I'm trying to convey here is that, aging is a journey just like everything else in life. A lot of other stuff you see out there, there's wonderful, wonderful information everywhere now through books, movies, TV, the Internet. But I like to stay away from those high-gloss hypes of, being turning back the clock and, that it's anti-aging. What I'd like people to do is embrace their age and understand that life is short and you want to deal with being in the present. My mantra is stay in today. Where are you today and where are you going forward? You have so much nostalgia as you get older and you realize, the way things were, the way I liked it better when things were. I want to try to encourage everybody this is where you are today, this is how old you are, this is your health status, and this is what you could do to make your life the very best it is today. And don't ever compare yourself to other people, what you see in the media, people who, I always joke about the movie stars and the people in the spotlight compared to us mere mortals. You don't know what they do to themselves. You don't know what they've been through to get there. So, as we say, stay in your lane. Don't chase the anti-aging. Use medicine and alternative therapies to your advantage. Wear your hearing aids. Get your feet checked. All these things that people don't want to do because they associate it with being old. And get out there and have fun. Go to a senior center. Take up a new class. Learn a new sport. Whatever you can do. You're not going to be an Olympic athlete, but maybe you can join a local softball team. There's little things that we can do that make ourselves feel engaged. And you are worthy. Every human being on this planet has value, and you have something to offer. And keep that in mind in everything that you do.
Great. Patricia Greenberg, thefitnessgourmet.com. Check it out. Thank you so much for joining us on Boomers Today, Patricia.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you so much, Frank.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody out there for joining us on Boomers Today. And we'll talk to you next week. Just be safe out there.
You've been listening to Boomers
soon.
Today with Frank Sampson. To learn more about today's show, visit boomerstodayradio.com and join us next time for another edition of Boomers Today.